Hi everyone, so in this first video I will show you how to use the Cut&Key Print Master Zplugin and how to come from this to this basically. But first we need to install it, so it's not yet on internet, but you will get it on ArtStation, so you will get it in the marketplace from ArtStation, and you will find these pictures at the beginning. Just tap Cut&Key Print Master, and I will add the link under in the description. So when you will delete download the file, you will get this zip file, and on it there is one folder with some files, the script itself, and one documentation which basically explain how to use it, but I will show you how to use it basically. Just one thing, in this documentation you have some links to my my ArtStation, for example. So if you click on it, you will find my own page, so feel free to have a look. And you have also here a link to a form, and this one is here to help you. If you got any trouble while using this this tool, you can send me an email basically, and if the tool is wrong, I will of course try to fix it as soon as possible, but everything should be fine since I've tried many times. Alright, and then these two files, you need to move them into Pixologic, ZBrush, ZStartup, ZPlug64. So I have Cut&Key Print Master data, and I already have also Cut&Key Print Master ZSC. Alright, so now we can go back to ZBrush and start to work with it. Alright, so now we are back in ZBrush, and for this demonstration I will use this guy. So you can find it under I think is in project, demo project, and you get it here. Alright, so I did modify this this tool because I wanted it to be printable. So some shape are a little bit different, like the jacket here, this is the full shape. And I could make something very basic, but I kept many subtools because I wanted to show you how it works with multiple subtools actually. Okay, then under Zplugin you will find, so Zplugin I have it, you will find the Cut&Key Print Master Zplugin. So this is the one you just installed before, and we start with this section here where you have the update button and those three slider. So those buttons just look like the one under the 3D print hub in here. So when you press update size ratio, you can get the size of the selected subtool. So let's say on this one. Okay, so I'm working in millimeters, but choose whatever you want. So you can get the size and you can modify it. That's pretty much the same thing, but let me show you. Update. So I should get the same values, that's not exactly the same. I don't know why, but I don't know how they calculate this one, but that's pretty much the same. Okay, but this one is better because you can also find the size of all the visible subtools. So if I press update here, I will get a different size because, you know, I have the shoes and stuff like that. Probably only the shoes on this case will make my size bigger actually. And if I had this object for the floor and press update, I will get again a bigger size. On this one you will only get the size from the selected subtool. That's why I prefer to work this way. And I can also modify the size, of course. So here, let's say I'm working in millimeters. That's not enough for me. So let's say I want 200 millimeters or 150. I can do that. it won't scale the object, but we scale for the export settings actually. And these settings are very important because they will have influence for the gap size here. I will talk about it just right now. So okay, so now I want to split my model. So let's say actually it's 300. My 3D printer can print only 150 on the y-axis, so I need to split it. There is multiple way to split it. So actually there is 2 buttons but 3 ways. So create cutter and set subtool as cutter as 2 different ways. So let me show you the first one. The first one is very easy. You just need to use a mask actually. So you can use whatever kind of mask you want. So let's say for example the mask curve here, and on this subtool I will just try to trace some mask. So let's say something like that. I don't know, something like that. Okay, so here I have a mask and I want to cut my model by this mask. So I don't need this part, I will just remove it, but we don't really care. And then if I press create cutter, it will create a cutter shape. So it won't cut the model itself, it will create a new subtool, and this subtool will be in subtraction, cutter shape, with a live boolean. And here, as you can see, I got some gap to cut my model. Okay, so of course here this cut is very bad, but just to explain how it works. And this shape is pretty cool because there is, let me show you maybe. Okay, maybe with no shadow. As you can see, there is a kind of beaver here. So I have my cut shape outside, but inside there is a kind of beaver, which is pretty cool when you want to join them after the print. All right, and okay, if let's say, I mean, how tall is this gap? Actually, the gap is controlled by this slider. So here I have 0.2, let's say millimeters, and if I want to, I can say no, I want 1 millimeters, and now I have 1 millimeters. You can check it if you use the transpose line. You can try to get this value. No, I'm not good, sorry. Is that good? Okay, and maybe in here. So as you see, I'm pretty okay, not perfect, and I got 1 millimeters. If I said 3, and I can try again to get the size, and I got 3 units. So that was perfectly well. And now, so let's go back to 0.2. But let's say my full print won't be 300, but only, I don't know, 50. The gaps look bigger, but actually it's still 0.2 millimeters. But because my full model is smaller, of course the gap looks bigger. But if I bring back my transpose line and check the length, I will get my 0.2 millimeters. So that's one of the big things with this plugin. Like, you can print your model in multiple size and you don't have to redo the job of making the good gap to avoid any mistake when you print it. So let's bring back here to I will use 130 and 0.2 is okay. All right. Once you have done a cutter shape, so let's just delete this one because this one is not good. I will go back here and use a mask, and I will just trace a mask. Let's say I want to have multiple different hands with fingers pose. So I want to cut the hand here, so I will just trace a mask, create cutter, All right, so I have my cutter shape, nice. And then, so I can try to see, I still have the bevel effect. And now I want to add a key, an insertion key. So to do that, that's very easy. You just need to press the create key. When you press it, you will have the choice between three keys, but you can add your own keys. But before that, I mean, I will explain it in the next video because you need to do it correctly. It will only work with specific things on your key. So I will take, for example, the first one, the key box, and I got a key shape here. And if I use transparency, I can see my key. I will just turn off the live boolean and hide this one. And as you can see, my key is not perfectly placed, but it's pretty good place actually. And I can of course modify it, the rotation, the size and everything, because you see on the cutter shape we have this flat island, so my key will insert inside of it pretty well, but I can still modify it if I need to, and that's okay. This key is in negative too, so you should never modify this kind of stuff. And this key is also affected by the gap size, but differently. So let me just show you. If I want to see it without needing to hide something, here I have the check key button. It will work on any subtool actually, but I made it basically for the key shape. When you press it, you will get a box with a perfect size and position to see where are your key. So as you can see here, the key, so is not a full hole, but I mean that's the way you show it, but at the end it will do the work perfectly well. And the gap here is twice thinner than the gap here, because I have one half here and the second half here, so both equal this one basically. All right, this cube, if you watch it, will match the size of the full model, so you can also check the full model with that one. Okay, just delete this one. All right, let's back the light. Okay, so that's the first way to make some cutter shapes and key. There is another way. I know some of you like using basic shape to cut the model, so let's do this with okay, still on, I don't know, under this one. I will insert a sphere or a cylinder maybe. Okay, I will duplicate it because I mean subdivide it because I want something pretty clean, and this one I will just scale it. So I could want to use this shape to cut my model. Oh, sorry. Okay, so I will cut the right forearm. Okay, if I press subtraction, yeah, what I get, so I don't want to cut in here of course, but okay, something like that. Or I still see the finger, so I need to modify the position. All right, okay, and this shape can be set as a cutter shape, that way it will be affected by the gap size. So I just need to press set subtool as cutter, and here we go. So it did modify the name, it did modify the mode here, and so I can see the gap right now. And of course, because it's just working with the live boolean, I can modify the position, the orientation, and I can also, that's the goal actually, I can use some move brush and try to adjust it, so it won't break my model. Everything is non-destructive actually. Okay, and you can try something like that and then add your key. That will work perfectly well again, but just to be clear, oh, that's very bad, but we don't care. Just to be clear, if you add a key on this one because this shape is not open basically, and even if it was, because this shape is not a shape created by this button, when you say the create key, let's bring this one for example, it will create the key, but the key won't be placed well because you don't know which surface is a good one, so you need to place it manually. Otherwise, that's the same thing, and that works perfectly well. Okay, and all right. But there is another way again to create a cutter shape, and this last way is very cool. I didn't think about this one before trying to use my script, and then I thought, okay, I need this one. Let's say I want to be able, of course, to move the body from the floor here after the print. So I need to separate them. But right now they are in contact. So if I take my floor and check my feet as subtractive, you see they are in contact. So if I print it, it won't work. That's not what I want. But what I can do, I can use a mask again, but not to create a cutter shape, not to split directly a model, but between subtool. So what I will do, I will use a mask. Lasso one is pretty cool. Cross a mask over my feet. Okay, see, and press subtool as cutter again. But this time, because I have a mask, it will offer me another option. So it will tell me if I want to use my mask as a cutter shape. Sorry, is it right in French, but basically yes, no, and cancel. If I press cancel, nothing happens. If I press no, it will just convert my subtool as a cutter shape, like with the sphere, the cylinder before. And if I press yes, it will create another subtool, and depending of the mask itself. So I would press yes. Thank you. Here we go. Let me bring back. Okay, and let's check some color again. Let's zoom in. As you can see now, I have some gap here because I have a cutter shape, and this cutter shape is this shape actually. Okay, and this shape will split my model. I mean, will separate the floor from the feet, and is still controlled by this slider. So if you want to see it better, yeah, you can see it better. Or let's do something bigger. Okay, this is what you will get. So whoops, 0.2 was okay. Nice. And of course I can add some key on it, but I just need to place the key in the correct place actually. So because the key have to do some subtraction before the addition, my key should be under this fit. Okay, so I did that already on another tool. So on this one, I did all this kind of stuff. So you can see I got here. Okay, I got some key on the floor. I got the key shape, the cutter shape for to cut the model, and I have another cutter shape between the belly and the pants. So this one is pretty hard, but let's see. You see here, I have a cutter shape here. So I use the same techniques. I use a mask by lasso, like on the feet, and this one is supposed to split the model under the belly, but over the pants. I made some very weird one, like I use the sphere here, but of course, you know, the shape is very bad, but that's for the example and to show you how to fix some stuff actually. And I have the last one, I mean I did on the end, and I have a last one here. So I think this one, okay, this one to split the arm from the jacket. So of course when you do this kind of stuff you should probably modify your model, but I won't talk about this, that's not the subject. If you're used to do some 3D print, you know what I mean. Okay, so when all the things is set up like that, and I can still modify, I mean just do the update just in case, because I don't know Okay, that's the same size. I can still modify the size or the gap size, and then I just need to press the apply splitting button. So this button basically will just process all the Boolean operation, but will also create the negative and positive key, which you can't do by yourself. I mean, if you do it by yourself, it will take many times, but basically here we don't need to do it manually. So it will take some time to do it, but I mean, just like maybe 30 seconds will be okay for most of the time. And actually this one is pretty complex because I kept some subtool separated, but I could just merge it together. I could work with one subtool actually. If I use only one subtool, I will use, of course, only the create cutter because I can't split between subtool. Alright, so there is some trouble, but it's not something about the script itself, just because the model has some cross shapes. And if you go here, you will get the result. And as you can see, there is not many subtools. So the few small one here are just some error, but not because the script, just because the Boolean operation. So I can just delete them. Alright, this one I will delete, this one too, and this one too. Okay, for all the other, that's perfectly clean. Here I have my pens with a big key, the cut shape here. Under the feet I have some negative key. On the floor I have the footprint and positive key. Here for the arm I have a negative key, a positive key, and everything looks pretty okay, right? And that's as easy as that. If you're happy with this one, you can export it, still keep this value here, don't change the value after that, because I mean you won't change the gap, of course. And you can say, okay, this one was cool, so I can go back on the original one, change the size to update the gap and redo the apply splitting. So we won't take times to do this. Nice. I think that's okay. As you can see, there is some button I didn't talk, so this one and these two, those two, but I will talk about them just in the next video. But I think for the basic presentation, that's okay right now. So see you in the next video. Cheers.